Hi Aries, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name's Carol and this is your December 2023 reading. And this is a brand new channel, so this will be your first video from me. And yeah, so this is all about shadow work. This channel is all about shadow work, and it's about looking at patterns in your shadow. And also I'm going to go to the tarot and try to give you some guidance as to how you can manage the pattern that's showing up for you, and try to show you a bit about what maybe is coming up in your shadow as well. Now, if you need any more help on shadow work, I have linked above, and I'll always link it above, a video on shadow work that I've done for you also, and that's taken from my other channel, which is called Carol Cares, and that channel has all kinds of videos on it to help you out with your mental health struggles like anxiety, depression, emotions, journaling, grounding, and so yeah, so I guess I'm going to get right into your reading. So in this reading today, I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot to draw 3 cards to look at what pattern is showing up in your life right now, what shadow aspect is linked to that pattern, so sort of like what's causing that to show up in your life, and then the guidance from the tarot. And I'm also going to end it with a spirit animal for you from the Spirit Animal Pocket Deck. And I really like spirit animals, and that's why I called my channel Yellow Cardinal, because I've had in my own healing journey, I have complex trauma, so I've been on a intensive healing journey for the last number of years, and I've also had a lot of body work done, in particular craniosacral, and I have often the energy healer would find animal totems or spiritual animals in my energy field, and one time he found a yellow cardinal, and for me, we both had to look it up. We're like, this yellow cardinal, does that even exist? And we found out it did exist. So I have a beautiful picture of a yellow cardinal behind me that was taken by a man called Jeremy Black, who lives in the States, and I looked him up. Actually, when you look up yellow cardinal, you'll find it, and he has this beautiful picture of the yellow cardinal that he was able to take. So I did order it from him because I wanted it for my channel. So we're going to get going. I'm going to pull 3 cards to look at. Now, I told you that I'm going to take 1 card from the Light Seers deck, and I won't take any more than 1 for the top row. So I'm going to start off, Aries, by asking the tarot what pattern is showing up for your life right now. Oh, here's one that wants to come up. The Ace of Swords is coming up for you. What shadow aspect is related to this pattern? What shadow aspect is related to this pattern? What shadow aspect is related to this pattern? 1 card for Aries. 1 card for Aries for the shadow aspect that's related to this pattern. Too many. I just want 1 card. The 2 of Wands. What guidance can you give me? The 2 of Wands. And I'll show you these cards in a minute when I talk about them. The 2 of, what guidance can you give me? What guidance can you give Aries? What guidance can you give Aries? Okay, I'm just going to have to take one here. What guide? Oh, here you go. Ace of Cups showing up. I like when they fall out. They don't always fall out for me. All right, so let's talk a little bit about these cards, and then I'm going to take the Rider Tarot deck and I'm going to clarify it after that. So the Ace of Swords has come up for you as the pattern that is showing up for you right now. All my aces are offers, new beginnings, gift from the universe, and when we get an offer from the universe, some of you, I call it the universe, some of you might say God, some of you might call it the source, some of you might call it creator. On this channel I will call it universe, but there is an offer that's coming, a pattern. And this is saying, here's a new offer. It's an Ace of Swords. And Swords is all about getting to the truth. Swords is all about getting to the authentic you. So, to me, this pattern that's coming up for you right now is about, you know, trying to figure out who you really are. You know, and that means, you know, what do I want to do? How do I want to live my life? Is there a change I need to make? And you know, just getting to the real you, like who are you? And I mean, isn't that the kind of goal in life, is to try to figure out who we are? But that's the pattern that's coming up for you right now, which is interesting. A powerful card in that, you know, it's a new beginning for you. Now the Two of Wands has come up for the shadow, that is a shadow aspect that's linked to who you really are. And the Two of Wands is, for me, it's the spiritual body. It's the creative element. And when I say creative, I mean, it doesn't have to be, and it's not really in this case, you know, discovering that, you know, you were meant to play the piano, or you were meant to write a book, or, you know, draw a picture, which I will never be able to do. But it's just, how do you want to live your life? How do you want to get creative in your job? Maybe you want to do something that's different. Maybe this card says there's a nudge. And you know, your shadow is coming up here. It's nudging you. Something creative is coming up here. It's saying, you know, how do you want, is there something you want to change about where you're living? Or something, you know, maybe your choice of partners, or like there's something here that's asking you to be creative in how do you want to live your life? And you know, that requires looking at who you really are, right? To try to figure that out. And then you get another ace, like two aces. So what I'm hearing, like new beginnings for you, because this is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is saying, this is a new beginning, but it's a new way of feeling. You know, there's something here that's saying, I think we're going to offer you, this is what the tarot was saying, is going to say, you know, I think the way that you're going to get to this authentic you and get to, you know, being able to live this creative aspect of yourself that you want to, it might mean to go in and work out some of your emotions around what's going on here. And that is how we get to our creativity, because our creativity comes from a feminine aspect. And we all have a masculine and a feminine side of us. And the feminine side is the creative side to us. We all have it. Every single person has these two sides. But the feminine has always been repressed in us, because she's the one that, you know, says you get to do what you want to do. You get to be as creative as you want to be and authentic as you want to be. That's the feminine side of us. But she's been buried. She's been buried in you, but she's starting to push herself forward, this feminine aspect of yourself. Doesn't matter what gender you are. I'm talking about feminine, masculine sides. I'm not talking about your gender here at all, because we all have it. Doesn't matter your gender. So let's clarify. Let's ask the tarot. So I'm going to ask 3 cards for the Ace of Swords right now. Let's clarify this Ace of Swords. And it looks like I'm getting I won't take more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I get 5, which, oh, I have 3. Oh, I have too many here. Yeah. I'm going to put them back just because there was some that came up on top of the deck as well, so I'm not quite sure which ones to take. So let's ask for 3 cards for the Ace of Swords for you. Let's ask for 3 cards for Aries. What pattern is showing up? And I have 1 here, which is the moon in reverse. And I do read reversals. Oh, I have another one here, Knight of Wands in reverse. Oh, and another one that's flipped over. Oh, you have 3 cards in reverse. Wow, wow. Okay. Yeah, right away that's telling me about there's some resistance here to, you know, getting to know the authentic you. So we'll find out about that. That's your pattern. And the 2 of Wands that's coming up for your shadow aspect. I need 3 cards for the 2 of Wands, please. 3 cards for the 2 of Wands. 3 cards that want to come out. 3 cards for the 2 of Wands. I have the 2 of Cups in reverse. 2 more cards for the 2 of Wands, please. I have the Chariot card. And 1 more card, please. I don't want 3. 1 more card. Makes me talk too much when I get 3. Oh, too much here. All right, I'm getting sloppy. I need 1 more. 1 more. Aha! It gave me 3. I'm going to have to take them. It wants me to have 5. I put them back and it gave, I don't know if they're the same ones, but it gave me. Okay, 3 more for the Ace of Cups, for guidance. Guidance, please. Guidance, clarification here. I have the 8 of Swords in reverse, and I have the 9 of Pentacles and the Tower, but I think the Tower is on top. So I'm going to take that one first and then the 9 of Pentacles. All right, I won't need any more clarification. I'm going to talk about it. We're going to look at the pattern first of all. So we have an Ace of Cups. Oh, sorry, Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. We're, you know, looking at your authentic self, and this is your the pattern here that's showing up for you right now. You have 3 cards in reverse, and I do read reversals. They always come up for me. So the Moon card, you have quite a bit of reversals, and also 3 in your guidance as well. Okay, so the Moon card has come up. The Moon upright for me tells me that there's a lot of things hidden. And there are a lot of things hidden. There's a lot of things hidden in your shadow. Everything's hidden in your shadow. You don't see your shadow. There's no possible way that you know what's in your shadow unless you do shadow work. And I know, I've watched quite a few videos on shadow work and people talking about it. And there's no way of even knowing what's in your shadow until you do the work. And I mean, you're going to get, triggers will tell us sometimes what's in our shadow, and we look at that and we think, okay, that's triggering me. That's something that's coming out of your shadow. But so there's a big part of this journey that's the unknown, right? And so it's in reverse for you. And I'm wondering if, because this is all about getting to know yourself, and shadow work, when you get to know yourself, is going inwards, right? To find out what your inner self is and who you really are. I'm seeing that there is a fear here to go inwards. So the pattern that's showing up here is a fear. There's a resistance to going inwards because there's a fear. Whether your fear of emotions, maybe, your fear of feeling, your fear of what's buried in your shadow. And people are so afraid of the shadow. And yes, it's a heck of a journey. It can be very, very painful, especially if you have complex trauma like myself. It's a very, very painful journey. But what comes out of it is you find out, you get freedom. And you find out who you really, really are. And when you find out who you are, when you find out who the authentic person is, you take all those masks off and you don't give a fuck after who, You really don't. And that is a gift that comes with it, of just not really, it's not so much not caring, it's just you're not worried about what the outside people, what people around you are going to say anymore. At the beginning you do, but not, you get to a point where you don't. So there is this fear I'm sensing in you, because there's the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is coming in reverse, and for me, the Knights, all my court cards represent parts in us. My therapy has all been, and still is, about parts therapy, because all of us have parts. If you think about it, how sometimes when you're spinning in your head, there's a part of you that's telling you to do this, there's a part of you that's telling you to do this, and when you're trying to make a decision about something, you're spinning, because there's all different parts that are coming up for you and are telling you what to do, telling you what you're not supposed to do. And the Knight of Wands is the part of you that I call the freedom fighter. In this particular individual, he's come in reverse. The Knight of Wands is a very, very creative, very authentic. He's the wand suit. The freedom fighter wants to have freedom to do what he wants to do. It's an adolescent part that we have, and adolescents are all about freedom. They don't want to be controlled. I was a teacher for 30 years of high school students. They did not want to be controlled. They got that at home, and they did not want it from their teacher. And it was their way, and it was interesting because a lot of times you'd get students that were very quiet at home, but yet they'd come to school and the teacher wore it sometimes, and it just depended, because that's where they're expressing their authenticity. They don't want to be controlled. And a lot of times they're fighting from their pain, they're running from their pain also. And this is a very fast Knight, so he's running fast. He doesn't want pain, and if you're asking him to get into his body and feel his emotions, it's not going to happen. But he's the creative one. He's the Wand Knight. And he's all about following your passions. And so this particular Knight is freedom in you. There's a real, I think, desire on your part to find out what you want to do, to discover what you want to do, because of the Ace of Swords. But there's a lot of fear around it. It's blocked, and your freedom fighter is also blocked. So, and here's the Two of Wands. He's seeing some wands here. So the Two of Wands is when it's upright. Yours is in reverse. When it's upright, it's that nudge, that creative nudge that we get, or that passion that we get to want to follow our dream, to want to do something, to do something different, do something unique, do something that people around us might go, what the hell are you doing? Or why are you doing that? Or why would you do that? That kind of thing, right? It could be anything. It's not like I'm going to go write a book. It could be, but it's something different. It's something very unique, right? Because we're all unique, we're all different, but it's something that's just, there's this little nudge here. So there is this nudge for you to go inwards and to figure out, what is it about you? Who are you? What is your passion? There's something, and there's a freedom fighter that's kind of screaming at you to go figure out what it is, but you're not doing it. So that's your pattern. That's what's showing up right here. So you're quite blocked, and you have a lot of resistance to going inwards. So let's see what your shadow aspect is and figure out, what is it about? Why won't you face, why won't you follow your passion or try to figure out what it is about you or your authenticity and find out who you are? The Two of Wands shows up for your shadow aspect, and so it was in reverse in the pattern, and now it's showing up in your shadow, which is very interesting, because in your shadow not only are there a lot of emotions that you have to deal with and memories and belief systems, and so all kinds of things in your shadow that you got to go and look at to figure out who you really are. But there's also this in your shadow. The Two of Wands is there, and that's that nudge to be creative, right? We talked about it, but it was in reverse here. So there is something in your shadow that's coming up right now that's saying, what do you want to do? What does he like to do? And a lot of us, sometimes when we get that question, it's like, I don't know. But there are others, and I think you do have kind of an idea. You've had something floating around, you know, in the back of your head. It's been bothering you, and there's something you want to do. So let's look at this and figure out what it's saying here. You got a lot of 5 cards, makes me talk more. It's okay. Here's this Two of, and it's in reverse. So it's the Two of Cups, and this is two individuals, you know, sharing a cup, exchanging a cup, and sort of, you know, people like to relate it to the Lover's card, and they have the a healing caduceus here, winged lion, angel above them. It's a very healing card, but it's in reverse. Because when we go inwards, we are going into the unconscious part, right? We have the conscious mind, which is what we think we believe of ourselves. And that is really only 5% of what we know about ourselves. You can go and Google it, and it's there. The other 95% that we do not know about ourselves, that is actually in our shadow, and that is what that lives in the unconscious, and that's what's controlling all our behavior, is buried. And that's what we have to get to. And so this exchange right here, this intimate exchange, is really saying, you know, it's time that you start to go into your shadow and communicate with the unconscious. Because buried deep in that, but right now it's in reverse, because it's, you know, you haven't gone there, and you need to go there, because there's where your passions are going to lie. That's where your creativity is, and that's where it's going to tell you, you know, what beautiful things are going to come about for you. Because the Chariot here says, you know, your Chariot's all about movement, like things need to move, and your shadow is wanting to, like this wants to move inside of you. But this looks like it's moving, but you know, it's not. It's not moving. It's pretty, you know, pretty static here. It's not moving. And the Judgment card's coming up in reverse. And when it looks like this, it looks like there's people coming out of their coffin. It looks like it's a rebirth going on. And it's a call. It's an inner call in reverse, because you're not hearing it, you know, whether it's a resistance to it. There's an inner call from your shadow to go in a different direction, to do something different. So here's an inner call, but it's in reverse, all right? So there really is a need to go inwards that's being ignored here. Because the Ace of Swords says, you know, if you listen to that inner call here, but it's blocked, and I'm going to assume that when we look at the guidance that the tarot is giving us, it's going to tell you how to get, you know, get in there, start going inwards, because there is an inner call here. Because the Ace of Swords says, this is it. This is the new way. It's a new way. It's a new way to find out who you are, to find out what your creative passion, to find out what you can do that you want to do, to discover what you really are supposed to be doing here on this planet Earth, what you came here to do, what your true purpose is. And this Ace of Swords says this is going to cut to the chase. This is going to, you know, cut through all the bullshit. This is going to, you're going to find out who you really, really are. This is all about authenticity. That's what swords do. But the Emperor card shows up, which is really interesting because the Emperor is the male aspect, and he's been sitting on that chair for a long time, and he's in armor now. He's been sitting there so long that he's kind of become, the armor has become him. I don't think he's taken it off, actually. And he's got this cement chair, which really would hurt sitting on that for a while. He's been there for a while too, but he's not moving, he's just stuck. And this is this male aspect, our ego, that says, you know, all this stuff about turning inwards, all this stuff about this talk about finding out who you really are, all this stuff about getting stillness and going inwards and looking at your shadow and doing shadow work and, you know, finding out what your creative side is. That's not him. This isn't him. He's saying that's a waste of time. That's nonsense. This is all woo-woo stuff, you know, going in and looking at your intuition, creativity. We got no time to be creative. We got no time to be still. We got to get out. We got to work. We got to work for hours. We got to make money. This is, you know, we got to do. And that's, you know, that's what's coming up in your shadow. So there's the shadow, you know, you have this creative nudge. Something wants to be reborn in you. There's a nudge coming forward. The Chariot wants movement, and the Emperor's going no. So you've got two sides of you that are battling it out here, going no. And this could, you know, this can be related to some belief systems you have, because swords are all about belief systems in the mind, where, you know, but they want to offer you a different way of looking at you know, your mind is not you. These are all ideas and belief systems and conditionings and patterns that you have been told or taught when you were growing up. And, you know, the Emperor doesn't want you to change. He's not about change. This guy's not about change. He's about staying the way that it's always been. But there's some movement wanting to take place here. We saw the fastest knight in the deck here. Well, he's the second fastest, this guy. He's the creative one. He wants to come out. There's some creativity that wants to come out in you. Okay, so the guidance that the tarot wants to offer you here is the Ace of Cups, a new way of finding out who you are. And that's through your feelings. It's through feeling. And, you know, this Eight of Swords comes up in reverse. And this person right here, if we look at her in the upright position, very much somebody who lives in her mind. This person, and so much so that she's blindfolded, she's all tied up, she's tied up in her mind. She thinks that she can't get free, but she can still walk away. But she's so blindfolded, she has her blinders on, so much in her head, that she doesn't want to see anything else. And that's the Emperor. He doesn't want to see anything else. He doesn't want you to see anything else. And the interesting thing is here, there's puddles of water here at the, you know, in the bottom of her feet here. And so water is all about emotions. Emotions are supposed to flow freely, because the Ten of Cups, which is all about emotions, that is the full range of emotions. And we're supposed to experience full range of emotions. Emotions are supposed to come in and flow out. And what happens is we stop them from coming in because we do what she does, and she lives in her head. Behind her is this flowing water. They're flowing. There's a mountain back there. There's no blockages there. There's no little puddles. It's flowing back there. But in front of her, she doesn't even see it. She's blinded, but there's just these little puddles of, they're emotions that are stuck. That's what they are. They're stuck emotions. And, you know, sometimes when we've been stuck for a long time somewhere, like if you're stuck and you're not feeling and you're really, because there's a lot of cards that are in reverse here, so that tells me there's a lot of resistance to go inwards for you, Aries. And the Tower in reverse, but I'm going to talk about the Tower in general. If you do not see the universe, God, source, creator, I call it the universe. If you don't see sometimes the red flags that are coming to you, if you don't see these ace, this Ace of Swords that's on offer for you right now. You know, if you're going to be stuck in your Emperor for that long, and if you're stuck in your head, she was in reverse, stuck in your head, you know, she's so resistant to getting out of her head, to going into her body. And if that happens for too long, the Tower comes in, and it's a baseball bat from the universe that says, this is enough. This is enough. But it's in reverse. It's in reverse. And so it's almost like you just don't even want to see that there's a way out. You don't even want to see that, you know, this is a Tower moment in your life where it's on offer to you and you're not taking it. You're not taking that chance to go and find out who you really are, what you're passionate about. And that's what we do with shadow work, is we go in and we figure out, you know, why am I so stubborn to go inwards into my body and find out who I am, what my passions are. Because this Nine of Pentacles comes in reverse. And let's look at it upright for a minute. The Nine of Pentacles comes after the 7, comes after the 8, and then the 9. The 7 is somebody that looks at, you know, it's this man with a hoe. He has this abundant crop that he has been putting so much time and effort into. And he looks at it and he goes, is this all there is in life? Like, is this it? I guess it's it, because the Emperor says I'm supposed to work my ass off all my life, and, you know, and not worry about what I want to do and what my passion is, and what, you know, this is just my job. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is my life. And then the 8 comes in, and you have this man chipping away at his pentacles, and he's very content because he's doing what he wants to do. He's following his passion. And then you get the 9. And the 9 is what I call the abundance card, because this is this individual. Now this individual is like a medieval noble who is taking part in this sport called falconry. And he's taming this bird, this falcon up here. And a lot of people call this, you know, sort of like a wealth card or abundance card, and that's where because only the wealthy could do this, because you had enough money, first of all, to be able to spend on doing all this training this bird, and then also you had all the time in the world, probably didn't have to work much, you know, you had all this money. So, but this is what's called the abundance card. This says to you, and you know, it'd be the opposite of what the Emperor thinks. The Emperor thinks you need to work all these hours to get all this money, you know. Forget about the stillness. Forget about going in and figuring out what you want to do, what you're really, really passionate about. But this card is a beautiful ending. It came in reverse. But 9 says, you know what? There is a great abundance for you out there. There is a gift that's hidden inside of your shadow, and it's going to bring you abundance. But it's in reverse, right? Because there's such a resistance here to going inwards. So, I think for you, I'm going to suggest, I mean, I know there's a resistance to grounding, of going into your body. So I'm hoping that if I suggest a journaling video for you, that you will look at it closely, because what I want you to do is, when you do start to journal, and it teaches, these journaling videos will teach you how to journal. But what I want you to start journaling from is about this resistance to go inwards, you know? Like, you know, you can start off things like, from a few writing prompts would be things like, you know, this is all bullshit, or I'm not creative, or I'm not allowed to do what I want to do. You know, here you have this creative one in reverse, this creative knight in reverse here, he wants to be free. He wants to be able to do what he wants to do. And you start off by writing things like, you know, I'm not allowed, because the Emperor said, this is what's in your shadow, I'm not allowed to do what I want to do. That's a stupid idea. Why would you even bother doing that? These are all things that are in your shadow because someone has told that to you. A long time ago. The Emperor's a long time ago. This guy's old, right? He's been around for, these aren't your ideas, but that's your conditioning and that's your pattern that's coming up for you in your shadow. So I'm hoping that you'll get into some journaling, and that's what I'm going to leave for you today, is some journaling. To start to journal from why you're not allowed. Why you're not allowed to find out who you really are. Why you're not allowed to be creative. Why you're not allowed to do what you want to do. Who said that? Who said that? Why you're not allowed? Why you have to keep working maybe all these hours that you're working? I don't know. I don't know what your situation is. It's a general reading. So I'm going to pull a spirit. So I'll leave you with some journaling videos from Carol Cares, my other channel. And then I'm going to leave you with a spirit animal for yourself. A spirit animal card that wants to come up for you just to end this reading. I think it's been a pretty good reading, Aries, for your first reading. But you have some work to do. I always leave you with a little bit of homework. You know, that's the teacher in me. Here's some homework to do because you have nothing else to do in your life. And I know, you know, sometimes it doesn't always get done, especially journaling. Who wants to journal, right? It's the last thing you want to do. Here's your spirit animal card. Oh, love it. It's the frog spirit. You know what he says? Clear out the clutter. I would have said clear out the bullshit, but clear out the clutter. Because, you know, this Emperor dude, he's the clutter. He's what's cluttering your head. He's what's telling you you're not allowed to do this. But I know better. I know more. The tarot knows more. Universe knows more that you are allowed to do this. And whatever this creative nudge is, you're going to get to it. I know you will. Take care, and I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.